Hi, I'm Dr. Chavi Goldberg, and I founded CyberSem. This week, on the 20th of the Hebrew month of Teves, Chaf Teves, was the yurtzeit of the Rambam, Reb Moshe ben Maimon. I think that on his tombstone it says "Mi Moshe v'ad Moshe lo kam kamoshe," a very famous phrase, and it means that since the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, Mi Moshe Rabbeinu ad Moshe, the Rambam, there has not been another leader who has stood and has accomplished in the same way that those two Moshes did. Many years ago, I heard a talk around this time of the year about the life of the Rambam, and it made a great impact on me. And I think that looking at the life of the Rambam, I hope will impact you too and give us, as they say, chomer lamachshava, something to think about. The Rambam in his early childhood, he was not a successful student. He would learn with his father, Rabbi Maimon, and the words just did not speak to him. The letters didn't jump out of the page and give him excitement. He couldn't make sense of any of the learning. His father repeated what he said over and over and over again, and still little Rabbi Moshe did not grab what his father was telling him, and his father was very frustrated. He grew progressively more irritated at his son until in the end he threw him out of the house, calling him in a derogatory manner the son of a butcher. How was he the son of a butcher? His father was a Rav. Rabbi Maimon spent much of his life learning, and he did not get married until his mid-40s. One night in a dream, an old man came to him and told him that he should go to one of the outskirts of Cordova in Spain, and there he should find his wife, who is the daughter of the butcher. And so he says, nah, there's nothing with this. Dreams are only hevel, v'sheker. Dreams don't mean anything. So he ignored it. The dream repeated itself several times until he really thought that this dream must have something bearing on his life, and he was going to listen to it. So he went to this outskirts of Cordova, and he found the butcher, and he told the butcher he was interested in marrying his daughter. His wife was a kind and sensitive woman. They had been Rabbi Maimon and her, I don't know her name, maybe others do, but she had been very happy together, and she died in childbirth, giving birth to the Rambam. Let us think about this situation from the perspective of Moshe. His mother's death had been caused by his birth, and subsequently he was a failure as a student in a family where there were rabbanos, where they were rabbinic leaders in the previous 8 generations. What was he supposed to think? Even from the perspective of his father and being thrown out of his house, we can see that the situation that the Rambam lived in was really not so far from what we live today. Today is not new. Moshe was curious about nature. He walked home from shul with his father, and he looked at how the caterpillars moved around, how they went to the leaves, and they were just curious there. He wanted to see how the birds functioned, and he was an interested boy. What would he do after being thrown out of the house if he lived today? How many Rambams have been thrown out of school? This is really painful for me to say, but I think it's true. How many Rambams, maybe not as successful as the Rambams, but how many children who have been thrown out of school today could have been more successful had we treated them properly, had we done it better? I am happy to ask the questions, and I leave it to you, my friends, to come to furbish the answers. I think that looking at the life of the Rambam is appropriate in our times. There are many, many parallels. As I said before, there is much chomer lemachshava, food for thought. Emir Hashem, I will continue with his life next week, and I hope we will have some more thoughts and answers. If you want to answer them in the Facebook posting of this, I'd be very encouraged to continue this conversation with you at another posting. Have a great week.